What impressed you the most from last night's win? I'll tell you what, man. I was up until almost 2 in the morning just watching this game back because I was so impressed and so amazed by two people. I was amazed by a lot of things. But the things that impressed me the most, I'm going to kind of cop out and say two things that kind of group everything together. It's the coordinators, Kelvin Sheppard and John Morton. John Morton was in his Duffy last night. Everyone after week 1, what about Ben Johnson? Jared Goff's never won a game without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay. What are the Lions going to do? They don't have an elite play caller anymore. I'll admit, I was guilty of it too. I was worried this offseason about what it was going to look like with John Morton, a very unproven play caller in the NFL. Last night, he answered every question possible. And it's not just the little trickery they had. They had the double pass that ended up being a big completion for, a handoff to Montgomery, throw it back to Goff. Goff ends up connecting with St. Brown down the field. That was awesome. I don't even know what you call it. The handoff to Montgomery who pitches it.
It's or like the handoff option play, essentially.
Yeah, the handoff to St. Brown, who ends up pitching it to Jahmyr Gibbs for the touchdown in the second half.
On fourth down, too.
Oh, the balls on Dan Campbell, man. To call that play, like Johnny Morton came through last night, not just in the trickery, but the thing that stuck out to me the most for John Morton, and I mentioned this in the open, but they were so dominant in the run game. And it took them a while to get going, but they definitely didn't waver from it. They leaned into the run game. They leaned into David Montgomery, who averaged 12 yards a carry for a career-high 150-plus yards. They were so adamant that they were going to get the run game going in the second half and keep their foot on the gas doing it, that fourth down play where it was play action with the game on the line, the 4th and 1, and St. Brown motions in to come block because he had done that exact same play already in the game. He comes down and then, boom, play action instead of a run, ends up leaking out, 20-yard completion for a first down. That's the kind of stuff that gets me really excited. And that's the kind of stuff I loved about Ben Johnson, too. Yeah, the trick plays were great, but it was the small details in some of the non-trick plays, just the creativity of over and over and over again, setting the other defensive coordinator, the other team's defensive coordinator, up to think one thing and then doing something completely different. That play action that I'm talking about to ice the game is a perfect example of that. And how many times have they lined up St. Brown in the backfield this year for the first 2 weeks and even before leading up in week 3 just for him to get a handoff and then pitch it to Jahmyr Gibbs? It's setting your opponent up to think one thing and then doing another. That's the kind of stuff that gets me really excited, and that's exactly what Johnny Morton did to a T yesterday against Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, them setting it up across multiple weeks is the stuff that that's the stuff that impresses me the most. I mean, if you listen to St. Brown in the postgame with SVP, he said that they have had that play in their back pocket for over a year, and they haven't ever played it. They haven't run that play, and Gibbs talked about it this week, apparently said that, like, in the team room that he's been wanting to run it, and then, of course, it obviously happens this week. Goff talked about it in the postgame as well. He said he's been wanting them to call that play for a while, and they finally did. And
they used the first 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks with the first half of the game to keep putting St. Brown in the backfield so you never think it's coming.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so good.
Just, it makes you really wonder, like, what else is really in there, just because it's the fact that that's been in there for a year and they just called it. But, yeah, I mean, the efficiency, I think, was so impressive for me last night. I'm ready to end all the Ben Johnson talk. We don't have to hate the guy or anything, but
Ben who?
Let's stop bringing him up because on the broadcast even last night, it gets brought up so many times. Like John Morton, 7 third down conversions last night, and 3 of 3 on fourth down. And every play call was so good, and even some of them you were like, I don't know, I don't feel great about it. The play calls were awesome, and Goff put some perfect balls on those plays.
Goff only had
tremendous.
202 yards at the end of the night, but he
didn't matter. I mean, the run game was great.
Precise.
Yeah,
he sat in the pocket with a ton of time. Great pass protection. It felt like the Ravens really were missing Kyle Van Noy yesterday. But you know what? The Lions were missing a pass rusher too, and they just have another guy who was sitting on the couch a year ago today come through in ways that I have a lack of words to explain, to be quite honest. Al-Quadin Muhammad comes in and just is terrorizing this Ravens offensive line and getting in the backfield on a consistent basis, ends up sacking Lamar Jackson twice. In total, the Lions sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times. That ties a career high. Only Pittsburgh back in 2021 has sacked Lamar Jackson that many times in a singular game. And that's a team that gets to play him
and
twice a year.
And the Lions give up no sacks.
No sacks.
You know?
Goff sat back there with all the time in the world. They got after him. I said in the open how great the linebacking play was. It felt like the Lions front seven and the offensive line, really, just both trenches. The longer the game went on, the heavier they got and the more they were leaning on the opposing offense or defensive line, and they just got better and better and better. Felt like Lamar Jackson couldn't do anything in the fourth quarter. And everyone deserves credit for that. The linebackers, some of these guys are playing in the middle, like Tyrese Wheat, these Lacey, these guys that they picked up off of waivers.
Lacey was good.
Everyone was making an impact yesterday. The defense was humming, and that's why Kelvin Sheppard is my second guy who sticks out as the thing that was the most impressive last night. I'm just going with both coordinators, and that may be cheating a little bit because I can kind of just group anything.
But they deserve it, though.
Oh, my God. They were so good.
All this talk about, the new coordinators and they shouldn't have made the internal hires and everything. And even after week 1, it was amplified to 1,000. And to see them both perform and basically have their career games as coordinators so far in this spot on Monday Night Football against one of the best teams that the Lions have had to play in the regular season in a long time, I'll say, it's just perfect. Both of them deserve it 100%. And we're ready to kick all the other coordinator talk out the window at this point.
Can we get a Kelvin Sheppard cam? Like the way that there's a Manning cast? Can we have
like
a Sheppard cast?
Even. Sheppard's just like a little bit more entertaining than Glenn is.
He's
and
just younger.
Hard to do.
He's just younger. He's got a little more pep in his step.
The energy that he brings. I mean, when they cut to him on the sideline after a big play, it just makes me want to freak out. It's awesome.
The defense was fantastic. I was wondering, were they going to do the Aaron Glenn thing of let's just keep him in the pocket? Like, just don't let him escape. No, they got after him last night. I don't know the actual blitz percentage yet. I'm excited to see that, but I'd imagine that was one of the highest rated blitz games the Lions have had in a long time.
It felt like Anzalone was blitzing nearly every play. Like one
of the linebackers was always blitzing.
It really felt like that the whole game, and it obviously worked out.
This is a small thing too, by the way. One of the very first plays of the game, the Ravens decided to blitz. It was Nate Wiggins, their corner, who came in, and this is the first big JMO play. He got 2 passes on that first drive and kind of just disappeared after that. It was fine. But Wiggins leaves JMO and blitzes. Jahmyr Gibbs, who has really struggled in pass protection in his career, just picks up the blitz perfectly and gets right in front of Nate Wiggins. He did that multiple times last night.
He had a couple plays like that.
He had the 2 touchdowns. The efficiency through the air wasn't great for Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday. I mean, you score 2 touchdowns, you'll take it and win. But the pass protection, he's getting better. Sam Laporte is getting better blocking. He made some incredible plays last night without the ball in his hands as well. And that last David Montgomery touchdown, you know why he was able to score a touchdown there rather than it just be a 30 or 40-yard pickup? Waymo, man. He hadn't caught a ball in 3 quarters. 3 quarters. Doesn't matter. All of these guys block so well. St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, all these receivers are so bought into this team, and Dan Campbell deserves all the credit in the world for that. How about Johnny Morton running that Maryland I, the Matt Drinkle I formation? 5 times
awesome,
throughout last night?
That Maryland I mean, it really wasn't working very well, but it's fun when they hand it off to Montgomery, who's the first guy lined up in the formation. Like, that's when stuff really starts to get tricky.
It didn't work the first 2 plays, and then it kind of did start working because they're using Sam Laporta as a fullback now. Oh.
He must have watched the Chippewas this weekend, man.
Those 2 guys remind me a lot of each other. Yeah. Drinkle and Dan Campbell, both of them just big balls ready to go for it on 4th down at all times, and that's exactly what the Lions do yesterday. I rambled on for a little bit too long. I want to hear from you. What was the most impressive thing from last night's Detroit Lions win? The thing that impressed you the most? I say the coordinators. They were phenomenal. The game plan and the execution of the game plan, it went about as perfect as you can possibly imagine, with the exception of everything that Dave Phipp did. We'll get to that eventually.
Man, Ben is just He's on-
Special teams get
How much caffeine are you on right now?
zero.
Man?
Isn't that crazy? I'm on 0 milligrams of caffeine, and I'm on about 5 hours of sleep because I was up till 2 a.m. just watching the highlights of this game back.
Waiting for the locker room video that we just got like 20 minutes before the show started.
I know. My alarm goes off, and I'm like, time to get up. Vroom. Let's put on the fit. Vroom. And all of a sudden, we got to rock the Panay Sewell
Yeah,
jersey.
pop out to the YouTube if you haven't yet. Ben's got a pretty crazy fit going right now. The shades on in studio.
I mean, the Panay Sewell jersey, like, I had to have the shades
Yeah.
on, man. The Lions' future's just way too bright.
Okay.
You know what else was bright? Lamar Jackson's teeth. Those things were awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. Lamar Jackson's teeth actually might have been worth like 10 grand last night. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
I think a little bit more than that.
You think so? I guess you're right. I don't have a good guess as to how much those things cost, but it looked really cool. I'll tell you that. And it looked really cool when he was laying on the ground because the Lions sacked him a total of 7 times, a career high for Lamar Jackson in his very decorated NFL career. Your most impressive thing from last night's game. 989-837-6125. We've got the YouTube chat as well. We'll get to those comments when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live.